Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm gonna explain why I have this on my head because it really ties into tonight's show. Hello, everybody. I'm Tracy. As you can see, I have a guest is here tonight. This is a very special show. My favorite holiday of all the holidays in the year is going to be tomorrow. So I was like, I'm going to do a special show. But of course, first, I want to pay a few bills. Let's get it started. Firstly, that is not a word. Firstly is not a word, by the way, but subscribe. Subscribe. I'm still stuck at 362. We know the goal. The goal is 1,000 by the time that 2025 ends. So we're seem to be picking up one every other week. So remember to subscribe. Support me on Patreon. Patreon support starts at 50 cents a week. That's $2 a month. As you can see, I have a new backdrop that Windra donated. Thank you, Windra. So I'm going to have to get with her to see where she got this so I can get another one so I can cover the whole back. But she did start me off. So Windra, if you're watching this show, thank you for that backdrop. I greatly appreciate it because I got tired of people seeing my whole closet with no doors. So thank you, Windra, for that. But you can support me on Patreon. Again, support starts at 50 cents a week. Visit my official merchandise store where you can just get t-shirts for now, but eventually we'll add coffee mugs and that type of thing. Support me on Facebook. Remember, I still need one person for Rumble so I can podcast on Rumble. I still want to do that. I have 4. I just need, this is how many I need. One. So that is it. And there's one I forgot. I'm going to put it in here really quick. Oh, wow. I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot this. I'll make it real quick. Sorry, Make sure I spelled that right. Okay. Mark your calendars. Friday, May the 2nd, which is, I believe, 2 weeks away. I'm going to be doing a channel fundraiser. My goal is to raise $700 in one evening. Don't know how close I'll come to it, but it's to pay for StreamYard. The first 600 will go for StreamYard for a year. The other 100 will go to bringing my website back. So be sure to support that. I still have no clues what I'm going to do on that show, but I'm going to do something. And we're going to start at 8 o'clock, probably go till about 10. And then we'll just have a lot of fun. And finally, help us to get 50 liked. No, that's 50 likes with the S and 35 shares. So remember, every quarter that number switches up. So in April, May, June, and July, it'll go up. But right now we're asking 50 people like it, 35 people share it. And now we can start doing this. Theus, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Apologize for the echo or whatever, because I'm in my basement studio and all my walls have been ripped out. So there's like, you never know how much echo there is until all your stuff is gone.
Well, my basement is flooded, so oh well. I'm like, oh well. Build a boat.
That's why my basement is stripped, because I had to get waterproofing done. You know, I just spent a small car on my basement. So yeah.
Yep. So, as everybody already know, I started off. This is, you see the title? It's Easter Eve. Tomorrow is Easter. Now, yes, I'm going to go over Easter on actual Easter Sunday. Yes, I got a whole 15-minute segment done. But I wanted to do this show because growing up Black and Easter was a special kind of experience that maybe other races experienced it, but not to the level that Black people tend to still take Easter till this day. So I kind of want to walk down memory lane. I'm going to talk about this little item right here and the significance of this. This is petroleum jelly. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about me bringing my A plus game tomorrow. Like it's A plus. I'm not straggling around. I'm not messing around with anybody. Remember to comment also. So besides the religious aspects of Easter, or what you say, because I know you're going to say it's a pagan holiday. Don't start with me today. I call it Easter because my mama called it Easter. That's just where I'm at. But what are some of your favorite Resurrection Day memories? That's what I'll do.
For me?
Yes.
Let me see. I'm gonna go back in the archives before I became as cynical as I am. I thought it was really nice because we used to go to, it's one of the 3 or 4 times of the year that you have to go to church. So, because it's like Easter, Mother's Day. There's another one.
I would say Father's Day, but
nah, ain't nobody.
I'm like, not
really. Easter, Mother's Day,
Christmas.
My family goes to church on Christmas, but I found that a lot of people didn't do that. But it was definitely Easter, Mother's Day, I think watch night, for New Year's Eve.
Oh, yep.
But I swear there's like one more. But anyway, it's probably Christmas. But yeah, so I remember that just being a really cool time, because you get to see some of the people that you don't always get to see, right? And then of course the food. So at least in the Black community, I don't know about other communities, Easter is like a mini Thanksgiving. It's like the family comes together, you put on your best clothes. This is when the kids get their little Easter suit, suit be too big for them because they got to grow into it for next year, so you ain't got to do this again. Yeah, those are some of the things I remember. And of course, you got the Easter egg hunt, but I don't think we too much do that the way we used to. I know we don't.
Yeah,
all my kids are big. So
here's the strange thing about me. As much as I grew up in church, my parents did not allow us to take part in Easter egg hunts. We could not participate. So
because of it not being related to resurrection?
Yes, because y'all half y'all know that my daddy was a preacher, and he would just be one of his, like, literally one time in a sermon he said, "Tell me what the point of a bunny is for Easter. What does it have to do with it?" Well, but of course, once he started pastoring, what did he institute an Easter egg hunt? Please, somebody explain that to me, because I don't really.
Because it's he was doing what I'm guessing, in your own way, you can set up any kind of barriers you want to, right? Like, we don't do Easter outside of the purpose for Easter. We don't do Christmas outside of the purpose for Christmas, right? But then when you're responsible for a bunch of people, you got to play to the crowd just a little bit. I'm like,
wait a minute. When we was kids, we could not do Easter hunt. I have never, and I'm 51, I have never participated in an Easter egg hunt. Never. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what's like. I don't know. Like,
were you allowed to do Halloween?
No.
I seriously doubt that. Yeah.
No, because see, my dad, he was old school. Women can't preach, preacher. That was my daddy, right?
But what about Christmas?
We didn't celebrate Christmas. Well, one, we was too poor to celebrate Christmas. But we didn't really celebrate Christmas like that. Thanksgiving was the big holiday in our house. That's
the big family holiday.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is like the big eating holiday. Like, that's the day. And Easter too. We would come together, eat a good meal. Oh, my sister, my sister's in a comment where, yeah, see, she's verifying what I'm saying. We talked about this last week. We was like, do you remember participating in Easter egg hunt? She was like, nope. I was like, I don't either.
Yeah, but they've definitely changed, because
he mellowed, but Pop still didn't want no hippity hopping. Yes, hippity.
Playing all that bang bang boom boom beat bop music. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Times have changed.
Mark, guess who decided to check his behind him but can't participate? Because your daddy can't tell the church what to do, but he can tell you what to do. Yeah, he can tell me what to do, but Nah, that don't make sense to me though.
When you were a kid under his roof, under his
My
direct
parents was
authority.
divorced. I was under my mama's roof.
Oh.
See, my
Okay,
parents
well,
were
I can't touch
divorced.
that.
Yeah, my parents were divorced when I was 6, right? So we went to church with our dad because my mother didn't go to church at that time until later on in her life. So technically, I wasn't in his house.
You were still his child.
I'm his child, but I'm like, but how come we could? I
Because,
forgot.
like, I mean, I can't
about
speak
the
to your
hippity hop.
dynamics. Can't
Hippity
speak to your dynamics, but like in my mind, like me with my ex-wife, granted, to give her a lot of credit, our view on raising children is very, very similar. So even though we weren't together, there was a certain level of parity, if you know what I mean.
And I think my sister said it better. She said, "Yeah, but we respected his word. We didn't really have what choice did we have, right?" He said, "No Easter egg hunt, no Halloween, no what they call it at church, Hallelujah night, the Halloween under the skies." I'm like, "Why don't y'all just?"
Yeah, you know, when we were coming up though, it wasn't even called Hallelujah Night yet. It was just we don't do Halloween. Like they came up with Trunk or Treat and
Trunk or treat.
Hallelujah Night.
I'm like,
that came late for us. We were like, what?
So when kids about, I remember the Easter egg hunt. I'm like, no, I don't remember.
No, I remember that.
I don't remember getting candy. Now we got Easter baskets, and that's my first topic of tonight. So we got the Easter baskets. It's like somebody would bring us an Easter basket with the candy in it.
So you okay.
Somebody would bring us a basket, be like, here's a basket.
You can have an Easter basket. You just couldn't have the Easter egg.
Egg hunt. I told you I grew up.
Could you have the Easter eggs though?
Well, I didn't. I didn't eat eggs then.
That's right. You don't understand eggs. The value.
Yeah, because I'm like,
But okay, I was just saying because
we had like somebody would bring us a basket.
Right. So your father would allow you to accept the gift, but it wasn't like he would feed into it. Like we're not.
But he would tell, don't give. I remember and I'm gonna ask my sister this since I know she's watching. Did they give? Did he just say don't give them the basket, or did he let us get? Did they have to give us the basket on the sneak, right? Because we didn't ride with him to church. We took the church bus to church because he had to be at church real early. So we took the church van. So we wasn't riding with him where he could say.
Could be that y'all Easter stuff ended up at Mama's house.
You know what? I don't remember that.
Could be. I don't know. I wasn't there, of course, but
and I don't remember because it was so long ago. But yeah, when these kids talk about, we hunted for eggs, and I'm like, okay, I remember the Easter basket with all the. I think the candy was awful, but there's this one that was the worst of the worst. Peeps.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
I don't know. First of all, what is it? What is Peeps? Are they marshmallows? Are they crap in a yellow tinting? Are they what are they? Anybody out there? What are Peeps? Oh yeah, because we stopped.
Yeah, but what Peeps are is it's candy coated marshmallows.
Just nasty.
I agree.
Who the heck sit there and said, "Hey, you know what? Why don't we celebrate? Here's a way to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. Let's put nasty candy in the basket
because it ain't about Jesus.
It should be. That's the whole.
Most of Easter ain't about Jesus.
Again, it should be.
No, you have to allow room for people who don't agree with you.
But if you're going to church, and I said this is going to come from the background that I grew up from.
Mm-hmm. But people in church, whatever we might want to say about us, or them, or you, or whatever pronoun we want to use for, very double-minded. It's double-minded in all things, just about. So Christmas, I always wondered, even as a kid, I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I took the gifts, don't get me wrong. But why am I getting gifts? This not my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but back to Easter candy.
But I'm just saying, but that's how you come together with the situation where, we coming for Resurrection Day.
That's the point. That should be the driving force.
For Christians, that's the point. But Christians are double-minded. So it's also, how do we entertain the children and allow them to have a little whimsy? Because, so they let Easter slide on in.
And then I remember when they would boil the eggs and put them in that can,
yes.
the food color. Now, see,
yes.
Of course, I don't like eggs, so I never took the eggs. So
and he had the golden egg. So you have all these colored eggs, and there'll be one golden egg. And whatever kid found a golden egg would get whatever the special prize was. So it could be money.
Probably money, I would
stuffed
guess.
Animal. It could be whatever the family decided it was going to be.
Yeah, but who decided on Peeps? Who said, let's put the most disgusting candy that we could ever find besides black licorice? Which
Don't get me started. Because you know who I'm going to blame. You already know who I'm going to blame.
Who you going to blame?
I ain't going to say it.
Well, yeah, you got me curious. I'm like, who you
the same folks who love mayonnaise. So it's a bland. Because to me, I don't like marshmallows. Right, so
I don't either. I can't stand
I'm biased, right? I don't like marshmallows. So then you're gonna dip it in candy. Ew.
That's why I hate Lucky Charms. I'm like, this dried up. I don't even like s'mores because I'm like, well, just give me the chocolate and the graham crackers. But why you gotta put the marshmallow? Why you gotta put the marshmallow?
The marshmallow is so extra and unnecessary.
I'll tell you what candy was. Had them Cadbury eggs with the caramel in the middle.
Caramel, yeah.
Fire.
But that cream.
Oh, no, the cream is disgusting. So you like that cream, no. But the one with the caramel in the middle, oh, that was it.
And when Reese's finally popped up with the peanut butter in the middle, I was like, oh, okay, now I can eat this. But, yeah, marshmallow, no. Whatever that random cream is, no.
Yeah, what was that? What the heck is this?
And then you had the bunnies start laying eggs, and it was just like, guys,
they're mammals, but they don't lay eggs. They're not chickens.
Y'all done went way out there now. Just. I mean, I understand the symbolism, but it's what?
Like that's like let's take the Bible and say, hey, does this make sense? Like you could say a bunny represents da 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 da. But bunnies don't lay eggs. Bunnies do not lay eggs. They're mammals.
But if now you know me, I can't behave with so much. If you took the bunny and you put it in the Bible somewhere and said that it laid egg, Christians would believe it.
Well, of course, we would have no choice if we say we follow the Bible. But since it ain't in there.
I mean, there's other things that are quite interesting in there. But I'm just saying. So, gotta let that one ride. I just thought it was a weird campaign, like that, because it's an advertising campaign and all that. Why is he cursing?
Why is he coming about? I'm gonna be at WrestleMania. I'm gonna be at WrestleMania, and I can't come in. But all up in the comment section.
Why is he fussing at us? What is this?
I think.
Yeah.
You know how Marlon feels about mayonnaise?
Yeah, he's very protective over the mayonnaise.
I know, like, why? Mustard be better on a sandwich anyway.
Almost anything is better.
Yeah, I remember the Reese's cups. Now, we didn't get, like, the Reese's egg with the peanut butter in it.
They didn't have it when we were kids.
Yeah, they did. I'm like, well, y'all missed this. We just had the Reese's cup. Like, they would just literally put the cup.
You had a cup in your basket, or eventually they came up with the little mini cups.
I couldn't stand though the plastic egg with the strawberry candy with the straw. You know that little strawberry.
You're talking the candy that looks like it's wrapped in a strawberry.
Yeah, it looks like it's wrapped in a
old folks candy.
Yeah, old folk candy.
Don't nobody want that. We ain't want that. We ain't want that when the people in the mother's corner gave it to you at the bottom of their purse. Nobody want that. No.
First of all, it smelled like white diamonds because that's all they wore, and they did. And the deep part, it smelled like perfume. I'm like, I don't want to eat
And
And then you gonna say, and then sometimes they put like butterscotch in there. Don't ask me what
they
it
always
is.
had butterscotch. Yeah.
And then what else? Peppermints. No,
Yeah.
candy canes. They would put candy canes.
Yeah, you did have candy canes for some reason.
Because I know, because candy canes, because somebody told me this. I don't know if it's true. They said the red stripes on the candy cane represent the blood of Jesus. And the what? I'm just telling you what they told me.
Oh, they were reaching.
I'm telling you what I was told. I'm telling you what I was told. I'm just here to report what I was told.
They were trying their best.
It was like the red stripes represent his blood, and the white was the purity because he was pure. So don't ask me why white is pure. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what I was told. And the J, if you take the candy cane, it looks like a staff. He's the great shepherd. Or if you invert it, it's a J. J being J
for Jesus. Yeah. They were reaching.
Wait a minute. Marlon, no, this is reaching. Chocolate covered mayo eggs, best candy ever.
See, he's trolling you now. He's trolling you now.
He just, I mean, come on, for real. But Easter dinner, we didn't really make a big deal about Easter dinner because it was more like, oh, the cousins are over the house, and we would just have like regular Sunday dinner.
Yeah, it was like relaxed food.
Yeah, it was just it wasn't like Thanksgiving.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, ribs. Thanksgiving is like Thanksgiving is what I call Eater's Day. That's just you just don't you pushing it out. You like, okay, I'm gonna not eat breakfast, not eat lunch, and then I'm just gonna cram it all in dinner.
Because you were real busy. Well, you couldn't really eat breakfast because, especially if you come from a very religious family, you had sunrise service. So here you are, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know.
Now that's one of my favorite things that our church is not doing this year, and it hurts me. I love sunrise service. This is the only time I prepare myself to get up at 6:30 in the morning. No, 6 o'clock. Get up at
it's early.
Yeah, for people that don't know, sunrise service is what churches would have because we believe he rose early one Sunday morning. So we get up early Sunday morning on Easter Sunday and we have a service. Then we go into Sunday school and regular worship.
Yeah.
We get about 6:30.
And you been there all day. You ain't come home about 1:30, 2 o'clock. You did.
No, we don't get out at 2 o'clock.
After you had sunrise service. No, you're right, because a lot of times sunrise. No, because we have sunrise service, Sunday school, and then regular service.
But some people will do like I do. You skip that middle part, and then you just go take a nap, and then you just come back.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when I was young and in the church, I developed.
But when I was little, I had to stay there the whole day.
Yeah, I never did the whole day thing because I ain't come from a very religious family like that. We weren't. My dad was not about to be there all day. Now, my dad he'll be all day. But no, it was like my nickname in high school was 10 o'clock. That was my nickname because they knew I was gonna come early to go to the 8 o'clock service, and then I was gonna do Sunday school. And the moment Sunday school was going over, I was out of the parking lot.
You know what?
On 2 weeks, gone.
Marlon is really seriously trolling people. Why are you going to get up so early? It's not like you're going to see Jesus rise again.
He's right.
Here's why I do. It's to commemorate. It's like it's a special day. It's not like any other Sunday. Okay, but this is a special. This is the set aside Sunday. This is the Sunday that I've set aside to say, yes, he got up.
But never mind. I'm not going to question the whole basis of the faith. That's not the purpose of this. But it's like, didn't Jesus? Oh no. Didn't the angel admonish the ladies for crying at the tomb, and he said he's not here?
That's what we get up.
So wait, but hear me out. The ladies came to the tomb because they were still upset about their savior being murdered. Remember, this is a commemoration of the murder of a great man. So they came to the tomb, and the angel said, he ain't here no more. Why are you upset? So why are we commemorating at a moment when the angel himself even said, let this one go? He ain't him.
It's called tradition. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. And I love to, like yesterday, I went to 7. Here's my next one. Y'all know I love the church. Love it, love it, love it. Most things about church, I love it. I loved yesterday's service. I go to when we was little, we called this the last 7 words of Christ. Irritated
I remember
me.
something like that. I remember something.
First of all, he said way more than 7 words. So we sitting here counting like 5 forgetting them. We like counting.
And which one are y'all talking about? Because it's the one he said in Hebrew.
Yeah, there's 7 phrases that Jesus said. But black folk, and I'm talking about just black folks, would call them the last 7 words. So we're thinking as kids, these are literally the last 7 words. When what they should have said was, these are the last 7 sayings that he said. Instead of 7 words, because we're counting
allegedly,
1, 2, 3, 4. We sitting here counting. We're like, that's more than 7.
I don't even understand the whole thing. Because you got, okay, now I'm going to mistake this, so please correct me. So you got Palm Sunday, which is the preceding Sunday when he rode in. Then they got Ash Wednesday. I don't know. Is that when what's Ash Wednesday? Like, why is it a Wednesday?
Ash Wednesday. Let me get, because I don't want to get this wrong.
Because he was like on
but
fire,
it's not like
one
was
what
a
is
week, one was a week. It was all within a week. We just split it up, right?
Okay.
So yes. So
because the Catholics do Ash Wednesday heavy. Like they
go on the fast.
They heavy on that.
Yeah, that's why the Easter meal, because you're supposedly, because some of us
fasting or something.
Yeah, you fast. Ash Wednesday in the modern terms of Christianity, that's when Christians go on a fast.
Is it really?
Yes, supposed to.
When is Lent?
Lent and Ash Wednesday are the same. They're literally the same. I call them the same.
Okay. So they're related at least.
Yes. So people go on a 40-day fast leading up to Jesus' resurrection.
40 days?
Yes, 40 days. Because he spent 40 days in the wilderness. Oh, he was tempted 40 days. He was tempted 40 days. John the Baptist is the one that spent 40 days in the wilderness.
Wait, when he went to be tempted by the devil, that was 40 days?
That was part of the 40 days.
The 40 days and 40 nights?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I think my internet's doing something stupid. Sorry.
But I'm trying to look this up because I thought, oh, my sister's here. She a minister. Was it? I'm sitting there like, no, was it one? Because I always thought it was 1 week. Like Ash Wednesday, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Saturday, nothing. Then early one Sunday morning, he rose. I thought it was just all boom, boom, boom. But we celebrated one this week, and then we did turn around and did the other one the next week.
So looking at the Google machine.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to bring up because I think I got my order wrong.
So no, you're good. So Lent is more of a season type of thing. It's not a day. So
yeah, it's a season of fasting.
That's the 40-day thing you were talking about. Sacrificial prayer, reflection, and fasting. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm with you now. Okay. I even as a kid, even when I was a true believer, I struggled with Easter. Easter was always it just seemed a little off. But I do remember it being the time I grew up military. So when we were local, I remember it being the time when I would get to go to my grandma's house and I would get to see all my cousins. Yeah, because that only happened
like family reunion time.
Yeah. And especially for us, because we would be like across the country or out of the country, right?
Yeah, so but I miss sunrise service. It's something that brings me joy. I love being around other believers. Just to think, oh, it's today. Now, technically, is it in April? Probably not. But like I said, that's the day that I've designated that day. So yes, it's tradition. which is why I'm going to explain why this is on my head, because I got to get into the fact.
I have to fix my internet.
Okay. So, yeah, so guys, why are you going to get so early?
I have to go fix my internet.
Oh, okay, go ahead. And I'll tell you what, like I said, sunrise service meant so much to me, because it was, to me, like, okay, this is the day that he like actually got up. Now, again, was it April the 20th, which is what I think tomorrow is, whatever 2,000 years ago would be? Probably not. But again, it's the day that I've set aside in my head to say, okay, I'm celebrating this day, and it's going to be special, and it's going to mean a lot to me. So sunrise service always meant something to me, and I really miss having it. Yes. Now, does it stink to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to drive to church and to go way across town? But you do get breakfast, though. The good thing about sunrise service is you do get breakfast. So after you've gone through that fasting portion, it's like all the carbs are hidden. You're hitting the pancakes and the biscuits and the let me take down these is paying until he comes back. You're getting like, it's like carb heavy, right? Because ideally during Lent season, you're supposed to refrain from eating like carbs, sugars, sodas, anything sweet like cakes and pies and all that stuff. You're getting all of that on, well, except for the cakes and pies. You're probably not getting cakes and pies on Ash Wednesday, sunrise service. You're not really getting it. And then, and you're getting, and depending on your church, if you go to a church where they really don't believe in eating pork, I do personally. You was getting the pork laden sausage, the pork laden bacon. Sometimes they would have like that link sauce, not the link sausage, like the little. They would have like the kielbasa sausage, hash browns, biscuits, and gravy. I mean, you were just getting, it's like you're just eating. And that's what I really liked about the sunrise, because they was feeding you. Like I was just telling sunrise service, they going carb heavy because you'd have been fasting so long, right? They feeding you like the biscuits and the pancakes and the pork sausage and the pork grits. Like you getting it all. And something I really miss, and COVID kind of threw a damper in this, I've always gone to a 7 last word saint, and that's what I was explaining. So again, 7 last, see, I was going to go to my childhood, 7 last sayings of Christ service. Essentially what they do, y'all, is they get 7 different preachers, and they preach each one of the saints. Father, forgive them, for they know what they do. I thirst. Mother, behold your son. Son, behold your mother. Etc., etc., etc.
Do they do the one about Father, why have you forsaken me?
Yes. Yes. Actually, yes. That was one of the last common sayings of Christ.
I'm just going by memory.
But I had such a great, like, it's always encouraging to me, right? Because people say, what's good about Good Friday? That's when the debt was paid. Now, y'all, this is Tracy going off into Tracy's sphere. This is me going over there, because I'm going to go over there. You can hit that unsubscribe button all you want. Blah, blah, blah. But for me, this is when the debt was paid. This is the day that death died.
But death didn't die.
Yes, death did die. It was crucified on the cross.
No, Jesus was crucified on the cross.
Jesus' death ended the reign of death.
People died before Jesus was murdered.
You're talking about physical. You're talking about physical. I'm talking about spiritual.
Okay, so we can't prove this statement, but I'm with you. Okay, but that was when he paid the spiritual price for our salvation.
Right.
Got it.
But to me, like I said, that's the day that death died.
But that wasn't the day that death died.
If you don't stop,
No, I'm saying, no, I'm serious this time. I'm being serious. Because that was part of
I mean, his
why
resurrection was like,
I know, but that was part of why there was some weird math because it ain't 3 days by nobody's count. But the 3 day thing was because when he died, he descended down or wherever hell is. He went there, and that's when he conquered death and set the captives free. So he was working during those
right, that's intermittent time.
days.
I know, that's why
Yeah.
I made this statement. That's when death died.
But death died like maybe the next day or maybe 2 days later.
It was the down payment. You know, just say it's the down payment. Like, he put a little installment payment.
And when he filed the application, you know.
Yeah, he said, you know what, I meet this. So for
I'm
me,
just playing.
Good Friday service has always been the catapult. Like, that's the start of the week. That's the start of the weekend. Now, today is kind of like the rest. Today's like, okay, I can reflect. Because when I think about, and I'm going to get it more into this tomorrow.
Like today doesn't have
there's nothing significant that happened on today.
There's not like a tied day to this one. This is just one of those interceding days.
Time. Yeah, right.
Okay.
And then of course you got Sunday. So I've always just thought Good Friday service means as much to me as sunrise service. It's just one of those things. It's a tradition. But on the other end, it does prove that preachers can keep their sermons under 5 minutes. Because see, they don't. You ain't got to go all day long with your sermons. You really
got
don't.
Other people coming behind you. You got to,
because you have 7 ministers and you have the choirs. Now, so the way our church did it when we had one, don't know why we didn't have one this year. But of course, I'm not pastor, so I don't get to make that decision. But like if you get 7 pastors from 7 different churches, they would bring their choir and they would sing one song. So that preacher song, preacher song, preacher song, preacher song.
That makes sense.
What they would do now, the one that I went to last night, what I like what they did was they just combined them. They was like, okay, all of us is going to combine and make a choir. And they sing 2 songs. I was like, yes.
You go to a small church or, because I don't know how you do that with a big church.
No, but it was pretty. I mean, I didn't go. My church didn't have a 7th last day service at all. I went to another congregation.
Gotcha.
Because I was like, we did Zoom last year and that irked my nerves. I'm like, this is not the same. I don't like Zoom church. It don't. I can't. I be
You like to be in
I want to
communion.
be in here. I want to like see you, look at you, make strange faces. That's what I want. But I like the way they did it. They just sang 2 songs. I'm like, yes, do this. Do this. You ain't got to be up there preaching. I don't think any preacher was more than 7 or 8 minutes. I'm like, yes, this is it.
Yeah, that's kind of abnormal. But like I said, I haven't, at least I don't recall being in that type of service. I'm sure I went because back when I was, active and all of that, I was in church all the time, right? But I just don't recall, like Good Friday, I don't recall ever having anything about it. So it could be that I just opted out every year and just didn't do it, right? Because I just remember Palm Sunday, when we came into the church, they would literally be handing out fronds, like the little palm fronds. And that was interesting. But that was Palm Sunday. And then Good Friday, I think it was we just knew it was Good Friday. So I think it was more left to you as a believer in your household, your family, to acknowledge. Because like I knew some kids growing up, they could only eat fish. I don't know. That was just some rule that they had, probably related to what you were saying about the pork thing. But yeah, I remember that. Or they would order pizza so that mom wouldn't have to cook or something. I remember stuff like that vaguely. And then you had, and before that you would be at work or you'd be at school, and you see people walking around with a little ash in the middle of their
That's Ash
forehead.
Wednesday.
Yeah. I always found that quite interesting because I'm like, yeah, so now you want to go around show everybody that you were Christian, but the day before, I probably couldn't have told you. So you're gonna advertise today, okay? Tomorrow you're gonna be right back to being a heathen. But and then Easter Sunday, you had your early service, or you had, like, I always went to early service. I didn't go to sunrise service because I ain't waking up like that. But
don't you get up early anyway?
Yeah, now. But now I don't go to church, right? But back then, no, I wasn't waking up like that.
But you're going tomorrow.
Yes, because I have to go because it makes my mommy happy. So
when mama's happy, everybody's happy.
Right. So I'll be getting the family together. We're not going to early service. Sunrise service ain't happening because I'm more than an hour away from the church. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna go to church, and my mama will be happy, my daddy will be happy, and that's just what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna go to their house and eat, and then we come back home.
Yeah, but here's another thing that Lord, please forgive me for what I'm about to say. The Easter speeches.
Oh yeah, my
let me tell you. See, the people who are not black. See, black people have this little thing that they like to have little children to do, because what they want to do is ultimately involve the children. And nobody say you don't like children. I don't dislike children, but this annoyed me as a child. Thank goodness my parents never made us do this. Oh, I am so 25 million times. I know my parents are long gone, but I thank them for they never made me take place in Easter speech. So Easter speech, what the Sunday school teacher would do, she would give little Tim or little Paul or little Jack or little Theus or little Tracy, they give them a little speech to remember. And they had to memorize it. Here come the two problems. Number one, the child never memorized it. Never memorized the speech. They had to sit. The parent would literally sit in the pew and yell out the part to the child, and then the child would repeat what the parent said. Am I lying?
No, you have the child up there doing their little best, and then the Sunday school teacher would be standing next to him. And then he said, and now you see.
Oh, so your mother didn't yell out?
No. Now I understand something about my family. First of all, when I was a child, my family wasn't in the church. I'm actually the one that brought my family back to the church. So I started going to church like regularly when I was like 12. But no.
So you missed all of that. You missed all.
No, I've been to it. Like, my parents would take us on the 2 or 3 times a year pilgrimage to the church, right? So I was at many Easter services. It's just I wasn't a church kid. But no, my kids, like this year, my youngest, this will hopefully be the last year she has to do it. She'll be doing her Easter speech.
Did you help her memorize it?
I did not. My youngest is in the 5th grade. So
she's a little old to be doing Easter speech.
The last year she got to do it. So
how old is she? 12? No.
11 makes her grandparents happy. So she's gonna go up there and she's gonna do what she does. But it's always excruciating.
It's like, why y'all got to do this? Don't do the babies like that.
Yeah, it's always and it's hardest for the kids who are 2nd grade and up. Like the little ones, they're not gonna know it, and half the time they ain't got new them to say, Happy Easter, everybody. Like that,
And then everybody clap. Amen.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we can't amen everything. Stop.
No,
amen.
You do. When you in church and the children do something, I think you should amen every little thing they do, because it encourages them to keep doing.
Giving them all that false hope. No,
yes.
You didn't say nothing.
The church is full of false. Never mind. But it's good to encourage one
See,
another.
I grew up
I
in brutal church.
truly believe
they would boo you. They were like, "You terrible."
What kind of church? Don't be booing nobody at church.
Boo you.
No, that's
Yeah,
just like
you
when the kids come out and they either singing or they doing a little mime thing, or they got
singing.
and
I
you
can take
bless your heart,
I hate.
baby. Keep going. Let them
No, you could
use
do
you, baby.
something else. You could do anything for the Lord, but mine. I ain't with it. I ain't gonna never be with it. I don't care how old you are. Don't you bring yourself out here and paint your face some white. No, nope.
I used to enjoy when they did the mime thing because it's all about dance ministry. It's really all it is.
Yeah, but the Easter speech. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't like the Easter speeches.
It's terrifying because you can tell the kid does not want. They'd rather be any place else but there. They'd rather be playing video games, eating snacks.
They don't. They would go cut the grass before you have them standing up there trying to recite something that means nothing to them. Because it's not like it's just hard, right? Like you're giving them some random words.
Because you could tell you'd be like, that child ain't eat. They ain't getting it.
And nobody in the congregation knows what the child's saying either. That's all right.
Take your time. And let me give you another hint. If they say take your time, baby, you really stink. You messing it all up. If somebody utters the words, take your time, baby, and if she
or that's all right. That's all right. Let them use you.
Let them use you. Yeah, we got to stop this with the Easter. We got to stop this. I'm on a personal crusade to stop Easter speeches. Give the children something else to do. I don't care what it is. Let them read
it's tradition. You were just saying how you like certain aspects of tradition.
I said tradition. Certain aspects. I didn't say everything.
I agree, but this is tradition. It makes the old people happy.
I guess. Oh my goodness. Here's the other thing. Now I got to say this because I am a theater junkie. I love stage plays.
Oh, that's right. We gotta go through that every year.
Yes, because you know why Theus is shaking his head like that? Because he remembers the Easter play.
Oh, God.
I could go on for hours about everything that's wrong with the Easter play. Now, this one, we just do across the board. This goes beyond racial lines. This is black church, white church, indigenous church. It don't even matter the color.
And the bigger the budget, the more extra they get.
Thank you. That was my first one. Number one, they all the way extra for no reason. Apparently no reason. When I grew up, the number one thing I hated was Jesus was always old and he always wore glasses. Why y'all doing this? Why y'all got the oldest deacon playing Jesus and he got glasses on? Why y'all doing this? Why y'all doing this?
I never had a glasses wearing Jesus.
Glasses wearing.
That's all right.
This is another thing that I want to thank my parents for not putting me in an Easter.
I forgot all about that, Tracy. So I got to sit through an Easter play tomorrow.
I want, and I was supposed to do one this year, but I was like, nah, no. There's nothing good. Like, they mean well. And that's what, like, I don't want to just be like, but they don't end well. They're always terrible. Somebody reads off of a sheet of paper. Oh,
the whole time. These are not theater majors, Tracy.
I know they're not theater majors.
These are usually your middle school age kids that were drafted and said, you got to go, and you don't have an Easter speech, so you got to act in the play.
No, let me tell you something. I directed a whole Easter play with children. Matter of fact, I did a mini musical. Not one child had a piece of paper. Not one child.
That was you.
One child had
you and I both know that ain't how it usually go.
They had a sheet of paper. And then try to hide it. You not hiding it. We can all see that. We can see the paper. We can see it.
That's fine. The congregation is good with that. The congregation is okay with the paper.
They shouldn't be.
Why?
No.
This is church. This is not the local theater. It's church.
No, when you put
the preacher get to use a book. The preacher get to read a script.
The preacher's not acting in a play either.
Yes, he is. He's performing for each and every one of us.
That is not even close.
He's doing a one-man show. He's doing a one-man show.
That's not even close to the same thing. You look at here.
It's the same thing.
You don't want Tracy directing the Easter. This is why when I was told to direct Easter play this year, I'm like, you don't want me. Number one, you gonna memorize your line. Point blank, period. I don't care. La 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 la. Yes, I had that.
These are children, Tracy.
No, because I don't use children. I try to get plays where there's a range of people because I like to include all.
Who played the baby?
See, we didn't have a baby. See, that's what I did. That was different. I purposely chose to play with no resurrection scene in it at all.
No, but I'm saying every Easter play is don't nobody know anything about Jesus from age 9 months old to 35 or something. Like he had no youth, but
nope. Because what you ain't gonna do is have some 11-year-old playing 30-year-old Jesus. Nope.
Why not?
Nope. He wasn't no 30 when
Why
he
not?
was not 11 when he went on that cross. Now, if he was
11,
he
was like 42 or something.
30-ish, 33-ish.
Oh,
he
the
wasn't
good ones
11.
always die young.
He wasn't 11.
But you're using a play. It's all symbolism.
Nah,
you know,
absolutely not.
When you have communion, you're not asking for real flesh and real blood.
Absolutely not. This is why I it's hard for me to even sign up for you.
Just enjoy the experience and let it happen.
Nope, you gonna bring nah.
And hope the AC works.
You not gonna. They had that paper, and then you ain't got to do all of it.
And then the disciples entered the disciple, and then the disciples.
Then they gonna clap at the end, like they done gave a performance. Why you clapping?
They did give a performance,
a terrible one. That's why you shook your head because you know church Easter plays are terrible.
Oh, I know they're bad. I know they are bad.
I don't like to say they're terrible. I don't want to say they're terrible, but they're terrible.
But that's what they're supposed to be. Like I went to a white church.
No,
I've been to a white church a couple times, but you know they got the big budget, they got the big stage, and it's. I mean, it's better acting, but it's still terrible. You know, it's just a dry story to tell.
You don't know.
A good man got set up on false charges, got killed, and then got back up again. I mean, that's a very distilled version. But
no, you know.
And one of his homies turned state. See what I'm saying? One of his homies turned state and snitched on him.
This is why I didn't even want to bring up the Easter play because there's nothing good. They
should let me write an Easter play. They should let me write an Easter play. They should let me do it.
I don't think that's not a half bad idea.
They should let me do it. I think it'd be interesting. It'd be a whole new thing.
But when you
Jesus and his homies.
When you go to non-black churches and see their plays, you like, wait a minute. Oh, those people don't have papers. They don't have nan.
But they ain't got the same flow either. You know what I'm saying? I have yet. Like I've been to more than a few white churches, and it never feels like home. It never feels.
I feel comfortable.
It never feels welcoming. It never feels like home. It just feels like you just here.
People come to me,
say
hello, ask how I got here.
That's because you know, not to get all political, but that's because you are a commodity in that moment. You are the
I don't look like everybody else. Yeah, I'm the new thing.
Yeah, you the new thing. Just like we do the white folks when they come to our church. All of a sudden, everybody go, hey.
The production level is way better.
They got more money.
I done been to white churches where they ain't got nearly.
I ain't never been to no broke white church.
I've been to
no broke white church. In fact, I I'm sure they exist. Ain't no way I'm showing up at a broke white church.
That's where you get the good services from.
No. First of all, I think that's an oxymoron. Say poor white church and good service. I'm just sorry. I'm biased.
Because they play instruments. And they don't even got no instruments. They use their hands and clap their feet. Yep.
They can't clap on. They clap on too. But I'm just saying
to my white delegation, y'all don't listen to this.
I'm not saying it's just saying it's different. It is
different. But the paper, then you have in heroes on the. And why is it always a narrator? It's always a narrator. No, you don't.
There's a lot of filler going on, and you need a narrator.
You absolutely do not need a
narrator. The white churches I've been to, they got a narrator.
They have a narrator. Now
everybody got a narrator. You need a narrator.
No, you don't. You absolutely don't.
No. There's not enough dialogue in the Bible to fill that space.
People have written plays about Easter resurrection. Yes, there's plenty of plays out there that are, I think, are very good. And
they took a lot of liberties. So I'm saying either way, it's cool. I like narrators. I like that extra voice.
I can't say I don't want to see a narrator. I don't want to see. But when I direct a Easter play, come with some. Let me tell you something.
You probably yell at the kids if the baby cry in the manger.
No, but they gonna behave while they there because I'm like, look, I ain't got time for this.
You're taking all the fun out of it.
No, because theater is very serious.
Not at church.
Theater is when you're putting on a play, you are basically in theater now.
No.
Just like if you sing a song in a choir, you're a singer.
You don't have to be good though. Make a joyful noise.
But Easter plays are making terrible noise, and I ain't got to put up with it.
But so the spirit, see what's important?
There's no Easter play.
Hey, everybody. This is your resident heathen on the video. And I'm telling you, the spirit of the celebration is what matters. It is about fellowship and family down from heaven through 42 generations and sacrificed himself for the salvation of all mankind and brought together the Jews and the Gentiles under the common fellowship and brotherhood of the Lord God Almighty. That's what it's about. It is not about did you remember your lines.
It's about he gave his best, so you gonna give your best. Because them kids, check the play and see them kids, they had not nan script and they knew every single line.
I don't know, because I grew up, my first church was a white church. And I don't remember too well. I mean, that's going back 30 years. But I don't think there would have been an issue or there would have ever been a problem with someone having a piece of paper. Because it's not like you live on this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
It's just a play. It's just a play.
Oh, I can't.
Of course, when I went to the white church, we weren't in church that day long either. We weren't gonna be there all day.
And then everybody got to get up and thank everybody. Like you ain't got to do all them thank yous.
Yes, you do. You gotta get up and first give an honor to the pastor, the first lady.
That's what I did. As a matter of fact, I was like, "Look, Pastor, I don't want to speak. You do the speaking. You thank everybody, and let's go on up to regular service."
Well, now we got to bless the food, everybody. So let's go ahead, everybody. Grab the hand of your neighbor.
The started. That was it. We ain't doing all that talking. No,
you got to.
Nope, because we only had the play. We would do it in between Sunday school, which ended at 11. Because we started at 10, ended at 11. We would do it during Sunday school hour. So we only had 1 hour.
Oh, yeah. That's different.
Yeah. So we only had I picked a 25-minute play. I was like, okay, this will be 25 minutes. So we'll do 25 minutes. We ain't got to have all that time. Nope.
Ours would be much longer. So.
Oh, yeah. I've been to churches where it'd be 2, 3, 4 hours.
Because it was this. I mean, I don't think the play was that long.
All them thank you.
But yeah, it was painful because you had to go through, at least for us church kids, we had to go through Sunday school. Then we had to go through regular service. And then after regular service and all them gift to the pastor in the first. You gotta give gifts to the pastor and the first lady.
Yep.
You gotta bless the food in the whatever the sanctuary, not the sanctuary. We call it the where y'all go eat. Usually they're downstairs, but some people had it like an adjoining building.
The
fellowship hall. Yeah, they bless the food for the fellowship hall, and then everybody go over there to go eat. But then you got to come back to the church for the play, because the play would happen at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
so
no,
there was like an hour and a
3
half. Huh?
Ours was always in the evening. Always.
Yeah, it was always a gap. So it was enough time if you were like me who wanted to get away to dip and come back.
And
but I tell you most people they're all day.
Yeah, I said I was gonna get to this, and as soon as I plug my light back in, okay, it's back on. Yeah, I gotta talk about the fashions. Let me tell y'all something. It is wrong to judge people by what they wear. I'm just
That's anti-black. That's some anti-black statement.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna get to what I'm saying. As a Black American, Easter is the day you bring your fashion A game. This is not the day for you to come in tennis shoes and sneakers and t-shirt and this ain't that day.
It should be though.
It should be. I didn't say it shouldn't be, but I'm saying what it actually was to me growing up. Why I got this do-rag on my head? Because when I was a little girl, my mama pulled this out. This is Vaseline. And she pulled out something called a straightening comb. Now, for my white folk who watch this show, Black males had it very easy. All they had to do was a suit. No, all they had was a suit. A little suit that was like too big.
It was always too big. It was either a hand-me-down or it was deliberately purchased too big for your body.
That's all they had. Black little girls like me and my sister, we had to get our hair pressed. And there's this little apparatus called a straightening comb. Oh, the horror. The horror of the night before Easter and all through the house.
Yeah, smelling the burning
grease. See, they would put hair grease. Now, my mother used sometimes petroleum jelly because she didn't have enough money for hair grease. Hair grease is what you wanted to use, right? But it was sometimes it could be pricey, so she used what she had. They would put it on your edges because Black people's hair, our hair is coarse. So it's not naturally straight. Unless you got
I'm so glad the natural era is here. Because my babies, they going to have their natural hair. Sometimes my wife gets it straightened, but it's rare.
We had to sit and they used to have straightening combs where you could put it on the fire, right? You put it on the stove and turn up the heat a little bit. Now they got the electric ones. Tell you now, the electric ones, them ain't no good. If you don't buy a straightening comb, don't buy an electric straightening comb. Do not buy it. Listen, one of us has hair and the other don't. Now you can.
But the electric one, no, Tracy, stop. Because the problem is the old one had that black handle and it's like look like copper or whatever the metal was. And you sat on the stove and they would sit there and torture y'all poor babies with that. And it was like the teeth of it would be burning your scalp because it always got a little too deep. That's why you don't put it on there long. Nope, don't you use it. And then it always burned that spot right behind the ear, that right there. That was why you had the Vaseline. It would be caked on back there. I used to watch it happen. Oh, Lord, no. Get the electric one, people. If you're going to do that to your babies, please. You know what, better yet, take them somewhere and get their hair blown out. Just do that.
Do not buy the electric ones. They are not good. They do not straighten at the consistency of the one you put on the stove.
No.
One you put
I don't think you should straighten your hair. I don't think you should straighten your hair.
Well, I straighten mine. I get mine blown out. That's what I do.
Black hair grows to the sun. It grows.
Yeah, we can go through. I'm talking about what it is, not what it should be. We ain't singing Kumbaya and holding hands. We shall overcome. No, I'm talking about what it is. Don't buy an electric straight. No, they don't work. It's that old school one that grandmama and them use. The key is don't turn the heat all the way up like my mother used to do. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many scalp burns. I still have like one on the back of my neck. Oh my goodness.
In the kitchen. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And again, for my white audience, Black people, we call the back of our hair the kitchen, like that nap at the end of our neck. That's called the kitchen. Yeah, I still got a little scar.
Mm-hmm. And you want that for other children? No.
No, Marlon, you don't want to get a Jerry curl because then you got Jerry curl juice in the you got to wear that cap, and then Jerry curl juice is sipping off all over the place. Nope.
That's why they came up with the S curl.
Nope.
The less wet Jerry.
But then most likely we had to wear a fancy-fied dress.
You had the white lace dress with the white lace socks and the black patent shoes. And you might have them little doily gloves.
And the little hat.
Oh, yeah, and the little purse, too.
And the little purse.
It was like a whole thing for y'all. Yes, it was like terrible. No.
Little Black girls that grew up in the 80s like I did, we had to go through a lot.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, for y'all who ain't Black, okay, you've probably seen the picture of little Ruby Bridges, okay, little girl who was forced to help integrate school. That's how they had to dress.
Yes.
Ooh, goodness.
And when you became an adult, you had to wear what my mother calls a slip. You had to wear, you had to wear the dress and the slip. Because see, I'm not going to show you. Yeah, I am. I'm going to show you what I'm wearing tomorrow. Because I done already picked out my outfit.
Are you wearing a slip?
Well, yeah, because
Can you still buy those?
Yes.
I didn't think you still made them.
Yeah, they still make them. I found one. I was like, oh, let me get this. Because what I'm wearing is so sheer, you can see under it. I'm like,
but they usually build the slip into the clothing now.
What I'm wearing tomorrow, no, it's not built into it.
Look at you wearing something risque. Stop it.
Yeah. So hold on a second.
It's a church house.
I'm gonna remove myself, and Thea's gonna talk about what little Black girls had to go through.
I'm just saying. I don't really know all the little Black girls that go. Now, I'm a girl dad. I'm a great number of girls. Got 3 beautiful daughters. I love them to death. But I'm also not a church person. But I do remember the little patent black shoes, and whew, goodness, it was tough. I think that's something that needs to go away. Ask your child if they want to wear lace, and they will almost all tell you, no, thank you. But, this is my opportunity because I can't even be like fussed at. So I am of the opinion when it comes to any church service, come as you.
And Thea says, went out again. So he was going to say, come as you are. So I'm going to show you what I'm wearing. See, I want to wear this one. This one, you definitely have to wear a slip, right? Because you can see right through it. It's got that, and then the belt on it, right? So this definitely needs a slip. And then I ordered this one, which is heavier. And I probably will wear this one because I haven't worn it in a while. If I can still fit into this one, this is like a blue. And the other one is more of an Easter color. So I had picked out what I wear. Why? Because I'm Black and I'm female. Not because I should. I mean, ideally, you should always just, if you want to wear jeans and a t-shirt, that's what you should wear, right? But because I grew up Black and I grew up in Black church, that's not really the expectation. The expectation is always you bring your A game. You always want to wear like a pastel color, right? You don't want to be wearing like that dark blue, even though that's a darker color. You really want to go with something that's like a pastel, like a pink, a light blue, a yellow, like I had that yellow dress. But men, they wear like the loud pink suits. Oh, I think Thea's disappeared because his internet is not working. So y'all can have me the rest of the hour and comment, y'all, because if there's some stuff y'all understand, I'm just like I said. Please do comment. But yeah, tomorrow it's like this is how I was raised, right? And I got this on my head because I'm not really trying to get up and do my hair and like press it. I just get my hair blown out and I want to preserve the curls I got. So I just wrapped it up and said, no what? I'm just going to unwrap it tomorrow, comb it out, and then be here. You should wear your natural hair. And if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. But there are us who, like, I blow my hair out. That's just what I do. Black women, for some reason, are getting still perms, and I don't understand that one. I don't understand. Yep, you got to bring your A. I was showing them my dresses. I'm thinking about wearing this one.
Nice color, purple, which is like the.
Actually, it's blue.
Oh, okay. From my filter, it looked purple.
Blue. And then, of course, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
This one needs a slip, though, right? This is a dress I got the slip for. The other one's got it sewn into it. If I wear the yellow one, it's got to be a slip. But yes, they still yellow. Make them. Really but nice I was saying when you were gone, it's a game. Like the church I grew up in and I came out of, is a game. It's a game. Should it be that way? No. Is it wrong to do it that way? Probably. But is it that way? Yes.
Man, when we show up tomorrow, me and my little family, that everybody's always surprised when I show up. Because, see, my home church, it's been my family church since I was 16. All right, so these people literally helped raise me, right? They always surprised when they see me because I don't come. So me and my family gonna show. I don't even know what my kids are wearing tomorrow. I ain't got no idea. We probably gonna throw on some slacks. Is your wife
pressing her hair? Oh, you said your daughter's wearing their natural
my wife
hair.
Ain't pressing nobody hair.
And if she does, tell her to don't use the electric one.
We don't do that. First of all, I personally do not have a say in what they do to their hair. I do not get in the way. That is her arena. She's the one who loses entire weekends dealing with these girls' hair. But they all know, and they actually agree with me, we do natural around here. You know what I'm saying? So their hair is braided or twisted, or my teenager loves a kind of a blowout type thing that they do nowadays. So I don't know. We're gonna show up tomorrow and it's gonna look like it looked when we came to church 2 weeks ago. Like I'm gonna have on some slacks and a button-up shirt, and that's probably what everybody else gonna have on.
Except for that one deacon that has on like that pink.
Oh, you always get that one deacon that
bright, that super bright. Whoo!
And the alligator shoes that match the suit.
Them Stacey Adams, he with it. He killing it with them Stacey Adams.
Yeah, but my whole family, none of us dress up like that. I don't even own suits that fit me anymore. I used to live in suits, but I don't even have suits that fit me no more.
Yeah, tomorrow it's like the one day where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear stockings because I never wear stockings to church. I just
wear the whole stockings, or you, because there's stockings and then there's like the knee high.
Yeah, there's knee high, but no, I'm not gonna wear knee highs. Period. That's just laziness. If I'm gonna
as long as the dress is longer than,
because I don't wear pants. If I was wearing knee highs, I don't wear pants to church. I just wear dresses.
Gotcha.
So there's no reason for me to wear knee highs.
Yeah, because you only can wear knee highs if your dress is long.
Yeah, if your dress is long or you wearing pants. And women, you can wear pants to church. Look.
All my girls gonna be wearing pants. They ain't even got dresses. I don't even know if they got dresses no more. I don't have frou-frou.
I grew up in a church where women could not wear pants. That's where I came from. I'm just telling you again where I grew up. This is what I came.
No, I get it. And I don't know if there's a lot of churches that are still like that, because I think most of them have been grudgingly pulled forward. But
grudgingly, they didn't like it. But I'm so used to it. Like even now, I feel funny if I wear pants. I'm like, no, let me go. Let me go. Let
and
me go
not to
get
take it too
dressed.
far off track, but like that's something that's always been interesting to me, and I've tried to broach this with my wife a few times, but I really struggle with how women are able to like be part of the church. Like you're literally, it's like there's so many rules
Yeah,
placed
there are.
against you. I don't have any rules on me, right? Like
Just show
literally, I
up
can
and
do whatever I want to.
you could be a crackhead one week, called to preach the next.
Thank you.
Pretty
And
much.
but a woman who has literally devoted her whole life
Told she
to
can't preach.
trying
Told
her
she can't.
best to live right and do right, but she can't teach a male. She can't teach an adult. She can't be a member of the minister's staff. She can't, like, there's so many, she can't. And to an extent, there's still indirectly or covertly, in some cases, sometimes overtly, like as a gender blamed for the downfall of man. Like
You.
everybody being punished
Yep.
by Eve, and I'm like, God, this is my way of looking at it. God set Eve up. There's nothing God has put in order that He did not ordain. So Adam and Eve, for those who follow the story anyway, they're a precautionary tale. They broke the covenant. They.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. But since that's not what this show was about,
it's still about it because it is kind of.
yeah, but like I said, that's why I'm wearing this on my head, because I got a bunch of curls on my hair, and I'm not really trying to like mess them up.
Oh, you got to protect it for.
So I got to protect what's going on up here, because the wind kind of. I was like, look, could you send this wind away? Because see, what I did was I went and got my hair, and that was 3 hours. So no, so we need this wind to stop so that my curls don't blow out, and they didn't always blow out. But for me, tomorrow. Yes, what I'm about to say is wrong. It shouldn't be this way. But because I'm black and I grew up in church, tomorrow is A game. I'm not bringing my B level game. Now, if you come with a B level game, cool. I will welcome you with open arms. I'm not going to put the expectation that I put on myself. I'm not going to put it on other people.
Tomorrow's the day for the ladies with the big hats.
Yes. I can't wait to get old so I can wear one. Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, I'm telling y'all now. I'm telling y'all now, I'm going to have the biggest hat I can find. Oh, I'm going to find me one. I'm going to get one that's just super huge. And it's going to have fruit on it. Like, bam, 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 bam.
Oh, hat so big, y'all, you can't sit in the pew that's against the wall.
Yes, I cannot.
You sitting in church like this all the time.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Cannot wait to get a hat. Yes. I've been wanting a hat for years and years and years. And I have a hat head. Oh, this is just all playing in my favor. But I gotta talk about the most important part, the actual service.
That's the same service. As my pastor often would say, people complain about it being the same service, but that's because you don't come to church but once a year.
That's exactly it. I got advice to preachers tomorrow, and everybody knows this. Tomorrow is not the day you bring out your marriage seminar. This ain't the time. That ain't the time for you to bring up other stuff. You got 3 words that you got to basically hit. He got up. Boom. That's it. That's that pretty much where
you because they got to take you.
No.
They got to take you from the Last Supper, and then they got to walk
that was
you
the week
all
before.
the way through to when he got up.
They could go from Saturday, say he sat there Saturday and do that. But nah, you got 3 words. That's it. He got up. That's the whole point. That's the whole
It's a 2-hour sermon. It's a 2-hour sermon.
No way.
Because they're gonna do the Last Supper. They're gonna do Judas betraying them. They're gonna do the situation with Peter and we're denying him 3 times. And they're gonna do the rigged trial. And they're gonna they press the crown on his head and they pour.
You got 3 words you got to hit. He got up, period. You ain't got to go all day with this.
It's gonna be longer than a Marvel movie, y'all. It's gonna be longer than a Marvel movie.
See, and I've never, even my dad, he didn't preach those long-winded. Now, he did preach at 1 hour and 30 minutes one time.
That's
I was like
a long time.
Is that why you? But
it's a long time.
He did. But in terms of Easter, no, it was never more than 45 minutes. In the church I currently go to, I've never heard a sermon that's an hour. Never.
That ain't the church I grew up in.
And the choir gonna sing every song tomorrow. It's gonna have the blood in it. Every single last one of them.
You know, if it does, I never noticed.
Every song.
But I know one thing. You're gonna hear about somebody like he got up. You're gonna hear that a lot. You're gonna hear that.
That's the whole purpose of tomorrow. That's the whole idea of tomorrow. Basically, like
it shouldn't be
3 words. He got up.
That shouldn't be the biggest part of it, though.
What would be the biggest part of it?
The biggest part is that he sacrificed himself for it.
Yeah, but
that should be the biggest part.
He went through all that, but here comes the victory, because the victory is he got up.
But the thing is that to me, is perhaps one of the least remarkable parts of the entire story.
See, to me, that's the most.
Think about it.
Transformation.
I'm talking to y'all believers out there, okay? So if you believe in the Trinity, because there's so many different ways that people approach the Trinity, but if you believe the Trinity as 3 in 1, so we start there. That means he gave up his divinity to come to earth, and he came not as a king, not as a ruler, but as a baby of poor people. And then grew up and did these wonderful things.
Tell the whole story. Go ahead, tell it.
No, don't do the whole story. We did all these wonderful things and all these things. And then, he then sacrificed himself. That to me,
but if
all of that, so much more important than a God getting back up. You already a God. Of course you're going to get back up. If you didn't get back up, there'd be a problem with your God story.
He got up, has given. That's like, to me, you ain't even preach a sermon until you said those 3 words. I'm like, okay.
Well, you're not allowed to fit in some black churches. You're not even allowed to finish the sermon unless you go back to Calvary.
Oh, that was my daddy every time. I don't care what sermon he preached. I don't care what. He could be talking about tithing, and he gonna end with, he got up. He's gonna start with Peter denying him. Then he gonna say he went to hell to preach to people there. Then Mary went to period. He gonna period, point, and the blank to every sermon.
You got to end there for some reason for most of these like old Baptists and AME type preachers.
That's what I'm saying. To mark the 3 most important words that you're going to say. You can say all the things about, and those things are great, and those things are fundamental, but that victory, he got up.
And see, I always thought it was he paid it all.
He did pay it all by getting up.
The sacrifice was him paying it all, though.
Yes.
Him getting up with all power in his hand. See, folks, I went to church. Yeah, I went to church. But he got up with all power in his hand and all that, we celebrate that. But it's like, so I get it. It's just I when I think back, I swear more of the focus was on
and
the
then
sacrifice.
Like some preachers, they'll talk about, they put the crown of thorns on his head, they mock
pierced him in the side.
But if they never say he got up, what you here for, man? What you doing?
No, because him getting up, like I said, I know this is where we differ. Him getting up is the least remarkable part because he's a deity. He was gonna get up.
But everybody didn't believe he was a deity.
But those who believe in this Christianity thing, they believe he's a deity.
Absolutely.
So the sacrifice was the bigger part because that's what he paid the debt.
It all goes together. However, because I grew up black and I went to a Baptist church and I still continue to attend a Baptist church, if you don't say, and he got up.
I visit the church a couple times a year.
What you doing? Like me, you done told half the story. That's my problem with musicals about Easter Sunday. I'm like, y'all telling half the story. Y'all get right to the crucifixion. Where the resurrection? Y'all just gonna leave it out? Every last one of them. Godspell, Jesus Christ Superstar, Cotton Patch Gospel. All leave. I'm like, oh, so y'all just gonna leave it out?
I don't know about them.
You've never seen Jesus Christ Superstar?
No, that sounds like it's gonna be a parody. I've never watched that.
Oh,
that's not a silly movie.
To me it is. I can't. Most people who are atheists love this musical, and I'm like, y'all got to be joking. This ain't it.
Really?
Jesus Christ Superstar.
See, when I've never watched it, I've never looked into it. So to me, I think of it kind of like a slapstick kind of comedy is what I would imagine it to be.
No, it's supposed to be. You're supposed to take it serious.
Oh, see, I remember in my high school years, this is what I think has really contributed to the complete rot of the evangelicals. But it was the whole Left Behind time.
We don't talk about the Left Behind because see, that's not us.
It literally is the foundation of evangelicals.
I mean, that's not us at our best. You know, I'm like they
and they would tell a lot of these stories. You know,
like
they would get kind of graphic about Easter in kind of ways, kind of make it hit home. You know,
but you know, like I said, tomorrow is just an important day, and I was like, I gotta talk about this because telling you. Pray for y'all little black girls. Don't put your little black daughters through the torture I had to go through. It ain't worth it.
It's really not. Let these babies be comfortable. They already got to sit through something that they don't really understand what's happening.
And them socks were hot.
And they're always real tight. It's like a rubber band.
Super tight. Be like, man, my foot is sitting here swelling. Why my foot swelling with them?
Put your shoes back on.
Plastic shoes. Them plastic shoes. And Easter wasn't Easter without Payless.
Tearing up the back of your ankle.
But Payless shoe store needs to make a comeback.
No.
I ain't heard it in years.
No. I think they're gone. I think
Payless is gone, but that's where I got all my shoes from. I'm like,
that's where a lot of us got our shoes from. You growing up, that right there would be a growing up black segment. We kept Payless in business.
And then we said, DSL is better.
Well, we ended up with Walmart and DSL, and at that end, it was over. And then it was over.
But Payless. But, you know, like I said, I wanted to do this show because I do it almost every year. But in this iteration, because there were some really good memories.
Yes. That
I had growing up. And I wish some of those traditions would make a comeback. Some of those ones,
you already ruined the play.
I didn't ruin it. I'm perfecting. I'm making it better because I strive to do my best for him. It's like why I'm trying to do my best because he did his best. So I got to do my best.
That's not fair. But anyway, which one do you want to bring back? Because we still do the food, or we've lost a lot of the family.
Yeah, a lot of the family connecting.
We've lost a lot of that.
Yes, the family connecting. The Easter dinner, the Easter dinner with the family.
Yeah, that's really, I think
we've lost. Weakened I still want church hats to make a comeback. I'm just saying. I'm getting me telling y'all now, I'm gonna have a big old super duper big old church hat.
I want the church hats to stay retired, please.
But there's some stuff like the Easter speeches. No, I don't.
That can go away.
Yeah, don't do that to them babies. Don't do that. Or if you're gonna do it, work with your child. Don't let the Sunday school teacher be up there giving them their lines. You work with your child to help them memorize it. You, parent, work with your child to help them to memorize it.
You telling parents.
Yes,
to help their child with an Easter speech. These are the same parents who don't help their children with their homework.
They should help them with their homework too.
Okay.
They don't do it. That's your child.
But they don't do it.
But the Easter speech. But I like to make sunrise.
So here's the case for Easter speech, real quick. One reason that Easter speech should stay is because if you open up that time It's Jesus wept, sir.
Yes.
If you open up that
I'm gonna say Marlon is Jesus, not weak, but wept. And
Well,
again, he's supposed to be watching WrestleMania. I love
he
how
said he
he's
bounced in
coming.
and out. He said he bounced in and out. You know, it must
Oh,
be
he
on
did?
commercial break. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't read
But
that part.
if you take away the Easter speech, then they're going to fill that time. And if they fill that time, you know what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with the deacon who never got ordained as a minister, who thinks it's his opportunity to bring the word. You know it's going to happen.
Oh my God.
No, it's going to happen.
You know what? And I can think of 3 deacons in my head, like, yup.
Because you think about it, for those who haven't gone to a black church, I don't know if they do this in some of the other churches. During devotion, after the deacons get to singing, then they go to that meal.
Minor church now, they just do praise teams.
Really?
Yeah, they don't really do.
They don't do devotion?
I say bring devotion back, because that's really one of the things I actually miss.
See, my church still does devotion. So
tell them to come to Indian. Boy, I missed that.
Yeah,
I missed that so
yeah, my church still does devotion.
The deacon prayed, the one deacon sang a song, and the other one read a scripture, and then they would shake hands with each other when they was done. Let me tell you something. Awesome.
Yeah, because my church is like, okay, so this is when churches first started. Everybody sat down for the most part, and then you hear the music start, and this is when the deacons lead their song, usually 1 or 2 quick songs, oftentimes a Negro spiritual, which I love, and then they shake everybody's hand while they're singing, and then one of them ends up getting that prayer bench thing they got going on, right? And then you are experiencing the longest prayer in all of your life for the week.
They got a lot to say, and boy, they chose that time. They chose that specific time to say, you know what? Here my laundry list.
It's like they trying to prove to the pastor that they can preach. No, do the prayer. Right? You're sending Jesus everywhere. You got him going there everywhere.
Like, how about you go there? How about you go? See, instead of telling him to go, he's already been there. See, you go. He told you to go. He told you to go.
And why Jesus got to be on a white horse?
I forgot about that. I will say something good about Easter speeches. Although, thank you again to my parents that never allowed me to do one. They will never know how grateful I am to them. It does help you to speak in public better.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. To me, it helped. Okay, it can help you to speak in public better. It can help you to speak in public and not be scared.
Oh, you're going to be scared.
What? No, because churches where I learned how to speak in public and not be scared. Now, I didn't do Easter speeches.
Me too. But you know what the difference was? We had Youth Sunday, and the way that my church this church does it too. But when the church I grew up, my teenage years, which is when I learned public speaking, Youth Sunday, we ran the entire service except for the sermon. You'd either have a visiting youth minister or you'd have the pastor preach. But
how old was the pastor?
I mean, I've seen. Oh, my pastor was the pastor. He's like 50, 60 years old. But the visiting minister might be 12.
Did he wear jeans when he preached?
Not my pastor. If he does, it's underneath that giant robe that they wear. But my pastor always got on slack. Like, it's his suit. He takes the jacket off and he's wearing the big.
Does the youth choir sing on that Sunday?
For Youth Sunday, the youth are my old church, the youth were everything. So like I would often be the MC. So my job was to open the doors of the church, to read the scripture, to announce what's coming next. Huh?
You was the junior deacon.
No, every child had to go through their turn. So I wouldn't every Sunday, but when it was my turn, I would usually be the MC. But you might have someone else. It would be a different kid who had to bring the word. It'd be a different kid who had to lead the prayer. It'd be you know what I'm saying? Like everything was the kids, literally everything, until the pastor came up to preach. So it would be the youth choir. But when the pastor would be the only adult that day, unless there was a youth, like a minister, because they always found that one child prodigy who's 12 years old and supposedly been called by God, and that person would be there. So that's how I grew up. Now my current church, the kids we had the children's choir on Children's Sunday, but that's about it.
Well, see, we don't even do the devotion. Oh, I miss bring that back. My whole spirit misses devotion.
Really?
That was just a bunch of praise teams, and I'm like, y'all singing the same songs the choir sing. It ain't no difference.
And my wife really, really enjoys praise teams. Like she likes, what do you call it? Praise and worship. Is that what it's called?
Yes, praise and worship.
So she really likes that. I have never, even as a child, I never liked, I would enjoy the singing when it's happening, but it was never what I wanted. I was a meat and potatoes guy, right? Give me the scripture, give me the sermon. That's all I really wanted.
Yeah, but that long-winded prayer.
Yeah, I never enjoyed that one.
You taking me back to the days of Bethesda Missionary Baptist Church. Oh, boy.
And then you had to know, like, if you were a visitor and you didn't grow up in the church, this part would throw you off. Because in devotion, you're supposed to know that as soon as that deacon lowers himself down to that prayer bench, your head goes down, your eyes are closed, because he's going to start talking, right? You're supposed to be in prayer the moment he drops down there. If you new to it, you don't know. You're like, why that man doing? Oh.
Yeah, I say it all the time. There's church, and then there's Black church. Yeah. And Black church is the most unique experience.
Yeah.
And it's nothing in this world that's like it.
And what's wild to me, and not to drag it, but what's wild to me is you could grow up Baptist, you could grow up AME, you could grow up Pentecostal, you can grow up holiness, you can grow up non-denominational, you can grow up any of those, and we still could share many of the exact same
phrases,
experiences.
we got the same experience as Sunshine Band.
Yeah, it's.
I grew up in children's BTU. Now, what does BTU stand for? Baptist Training Union. That's where you learned what it was like to be Baptist.
Really?
Yes. I grew up in the children's version and doing all those drills. Which is why I still remember them till this day.
When you had to learn all the books of the Bible and
now I'm like, we had to learn basically every last book.
You had to learn all the books. I never did that, but I remember that was a part of it.
Now I can't name. I'm like, and I think it's this one. It might be that. I have to cheat.
I'm so rusty now. I just know. That sounds like an Old Testament. So that's the first
concordance.
My dad uses those. He uses the concordance because he's using those to like cross reference and
running a reference. Oh my gosh, this conversation is taking me down a road, y'all. I wasn't planning on going down this road. This is me visiting. This is me going like to church that I grew up in.
Oh, remember? I don't know. They don't do this so much now because people are so weird with their kids. But remember, you would literally be in church as a child up until the end of devotion. The moment devotion was over, all the kids would be ushered out of the sanctuary and go to children's church.
Okay.
You didn't do that?
No. Let me tell you what. My current pastor does not believe in children's church. And my former pastor, that was my father, did not believe in children's church.
Well, my current church doesn't do it. But growing up, that was so
common. I think that I think it's one of the greatest ideas ever.
I agree with you.
Because I'm like, y'all sitting here, it ain't at that. You got to put it at their level. See, you got to put it at. I don't run nothing. I don't run nothing. So it is what it is.
But, I think it's mainly because parents don't want to let their kids go nowhere. But I think that I'm not a big church person. You already know that. And if you don't know it, you probably figured it out during this conversation. But children's church had its benefit because, like you said, you could teach the child at their level, right? You could
I could hear the
occupy.
service as an adult and not have to hear, "Wah, put that
Yeah.
down."
The only thing you would hear in the normal church service, because if you had a baby, the baby stayed with you, unless you're at a church that had a nursery, which wasn't very common in Black churches. We ain't had that kind of money. But the babies would stay with you. But the other children, if you're school age, you were out of there, right? You're going
Yeah,
to
we
children's
did
church.
not do that.
You
My
know?
father refused. We was like, no, but you give them the nope.
Yeah, I think it was a great thing because children that age need to be occupied differently. You can have things that they're coloring, that they're drawing, they're interacting. Right? It was like Sunday school longer, right? I think the argument for a lot of people against it was, one, they don't like their children being out of the sight, but then two, it's like you want to punish your kids. You want to teach them how to just be able to sit still and be quiet. And I'm like, is that really what you want church to do for them, though? Like, what are they really getting out of that? I don't.
Yeah, it's just one of them things, you know. I really wish we would, because boy, that one baby was screaming. I'm like, oh goodness, I wish we had a nursery. I wish we had a nursery.
You don't like kids.
That baby was hollering.
Well, the babies
hollering.
And unless the minister is bringing the word,
which they were,
you get up and you walk that child up out the church.
Which they didn't.
But you should. Like that was the common courtesy.
Ooh, I'm like, shut that child up.
And then, like, I don't think that this is common. I hope it's not common. But because they don't take the kids out of the church, now you got kids, because I've seen it. They got a video game, tablets. They got a phone, they got a tablet, they got a headphone. You sneaking them snacks. Like, I grew up, no food ever entered the sanctuary. The only time food entered the sanctuary was when y'all were doing communion. That was it.
Let me tell you something. When we walked into church, the first thing we saw was the restroom. Once we hit the sanctuary, we ain't getting up no more. We ain't getting up no more. That's it. We go.
Well, we would try our best not to go to the bathroom, but you learned when you could and couldn't go. Like, you cannot go if someone is in the pulpit talking. Like, if someone's in the pulpit talking, you can't get up. Once
we walked in the sanctuary, we wasn't going out because we had to go to the bathroom. Nope. And snacks, I done seen parents bring whole meal. I'm like, wait a minute, I got diabetes and I don't even eat it. Like, y'all just said, this ain't your house.
Yeah, the best we would get when we were kids coming up was you would get a cert. If y'all don't remember, there was like a breath mint that was darn near candy, and they were called certs.
Okay. They still make those, by the way.
They do? I haven't seen them.
I think I
see Tic Tacs, but I haven't seen certs. That's cool. I didn't know they were still around. But that was a big deal for us. So you could get a cert, maybe a lifesaver if you were lucky.
And a butterscotch.
Or peppermint. That peppermint ball.
You're forgetting the strawberry, the candy wrapped strawberry thing that nobody really want.
The things ain't nobody want. But that was it. Like, you didn't come in there with chips,
cookies,
juice box.
Like, y'all sitting there eating. This ain't your house.
Like, this is not a picnic, y'all. What is?
Well, they gotta be occupied. And then the parent taking a bite. I'm like, why don't y'all just set the whole table out then? just sit out. That's right. There are rules.
There should be. Yeah.
You have to keep them. Oh no, they should be. No, you need to go. You need to stay at home. You're gonna do all that. And stop putting devices in your kids' hands all the dang on time.
They can be bored for a minute. They really can. They really can.
They can be, but you need to be occupied. Like, that's the one time I don't want to see them. And I had to stop that too, because I was like, wait a minute, why am I on my? Nope, I literally put my cell phone down.
That is something, because it crept in, right? And I think the way it came in first was we used to have those little pocket devices that would have the Bible.
Yep. Now we got Bible
apps. So now you have your phone. Well, now that you have your phone, it's easy to hand it to the kid. to keep them occupied, or it's easy to check your text messages real quick, or it's like it crept in. And then also look at what we've done as well. Even some of the smaller churches got a big old TV on the wall, so you watching yourself at church. Like it's
no, not tell you what we do. We just put the scriptures on there, and that's it.
Like
we
for
don't
responsive reading,
right?
And
No, now that's another thing I miss. Yeah, I miss responsive reading. The only part I don't miss is when they couldn't read at the same time. Like the minister would read, then the congregation.
You do
Minister,
your part, and then
But the congregation didn't always read at the same pace.
That's true.
You had some people, they couldn't read that well. So they was a little slower. And they always came out the King James. They wouldn't like
well, back then we really didn't have like NIV and Amplified.
Yeah, NIV was like when I was a teenager.
But we used King James for everything.
Everything.
NIV was like the new thing.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. And nowadays, I mean, like I don't pay no attention. Like my home church is still very old school. So we don't even have like screens up on the walls or nothing.
We do, but it's not a picture of the preacher. It's just like the scripture or the prayer list. And that's at the end. Thank goodness.
We don't even have that. But yeah, it's a different experience if you haven't. And then it's like, because things are so different in a way now, you really could have multiple different experiences. So I think we'll lose part of that. Like when you're talking about things we've lost, the shared experience might not be the same now.
Right. And that's kind of hard for me because I'm just old school. I grew up in an old people church. That's where I want to be. In church now ain't that. And I'm like, oh.
Well, you can find, as they say, or as I've been told, if this church ain't for you, there's another one up the street that you can find a church
or across the street
that fits you. Yeah, you can find a church that fits you. It's just hard sometimes.
Yeah, but like I said, I wanted to do this show because, again, I have so many positive memories of Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue this tomorrow, except for tomorrow's show will be a little bit different. I'll probably just spend like the last 15 minutes.
And I won't be around to make it drag on forever. So,
yeah, because tomorrow I'm just solo. I'm just solo dolo because I'm just going to talk about the news of the week like I normally do. And then that last 15, maybe 20 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the fight was fixed. So.
Well, I sincerely thank you for inviting me to hang out with you. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, who's watching and everything. So thank you for that. And thank you for tolerating this former semi-retired Christian person.
And I've never hid the fact of what I believe. Never, ever, and I never will. I'm pretty much, I'm going to tell you he died. That's just the way, that's how I roll. It's always been the way I roll. It's been that way since I was a kid, basically. Yeah. But I thank you because some people are a little bit disrespectful, and the Tracy in me ain't always what should be the Jesus in me. So sometimes I'm like, you send it to me, why? But that's okay. I always want to thank my audience because you could all just say, this is the stupid, when you don't agree, you put it on silence, and that's okay. But that's never going to stop me. I'm going to always do this because, like I said.
Well, I mean, your faith is central to a large part of your identity. And I think that the world needs people like you who are willing to stand on what they believe, but not be an imposition onto others, and that's powerful. I think that's far more powerful than trying to say everybody must believe as I do, and I will now make you do so. Right. I am a big fan of convince me. Don't convert me. Like, don't command me. If you can convince me, then you'll convert me. But if you command me,
yeah, what good is that?
yeah,
like you really like you realize that ain't what he meant when he said make this. That ain't what he was talking about.
Yeah, I don't think that was his call.
Yeah, but I could go on so much about the Easter play. Goodness.
Take your papers, y'all. Read from your papers.
Don't do that, y'all. If he can hang out on that cross, you can memorize a line until you don't have to spend. Yes, I put it in them terms. You don't have to. You could spend 20 minutes a day, and by the end of the week, I guarantee you'll have
20 minutes a day. That's a whole TV show.
Oh, well, sometimes you got to do what it takes. Guarantee when I directed the children's each day, they had not one script. And they had songs. They had script and song. They knew every song. They knew their lines. Point and blank and period.
I'm sorry to all the children out there. I'm so sorry.
That's why I say, I ain't gonna be the one. If y'all go where this is, they gonna be okay with papers. I, as a person, I ain't. I'm just like, you can do better. You can do better. You have the ability to do better. Do better. And remember, preachers, 3 words. He got up. This ain't the time for you to pull out your sermon on marriage. Tomorrow, no. This ain't the time to talk about.
He said, what is it? He said something about take care of my mama, something like that.
Yes. Told John, behold your mother. Told Mary, behold your son.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That ain't marriage, but they'll turn it into a whole new story.
Tomorrow ain't the time to talk about that. Know what the objective is.
Neighbor, turn to your neighbor.
Yeah, that you gonna get a whole. That's what I laugh for. You gonna get a whole lot of look at your neighbors tomorrow. Oh, you gonna get, if you don't care, look at your neighbor. I can't say nothing because you're gonna get a look at your neighbor. And the organist or the musician is going to play while the preacher is preaching. I forgot that one.
No, do they really? I know they play them in and they play them out.
Wow. You know good and well.
But you're like, oh, you mean like the punctuation stuff? Yeah, that will happen.
Every song tomorrow is going to have blood in it, period.
I'm going to have to pay attention to that. I'm going to pay
Resurrection. Almost every song.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to be in church. So
the blood will never lose its power, which is one of my favorites. Or they'll sing Kirk Franklin's Don't Cry. One of the two. Or they might do Kirk Carr's They Didn't Know, but that's high work. That's that we gonna really shout.
They definitely gonna play Mary Did You Know.
That's Christmas.
Is it?
That the Mary Did You Know is Christmas.
I guess they won't sing it.
I never heard Mary Did You Know on Easter Sunday.
Yes, they won't.
Usually that's more like Christmas.
Told you I'm rusty.
If they go to They Didn't Know, that's preacher puts the mic down, everybody go high worship, start shouting. Preacher don't say nothing but 2 or 3 words and we going home. That's a high worship. So because there's high work, I don't want to get into that, but there's high worship where everybody is just into the service and they're shouting and they're praising God. And then there's more intellectual, like they're thinking, like, hey, does this line up? And they're really being cerebral about it. But if they hit, he didn't know, you could throw out cerebral. This gonna be, and then they might go to when I think about Jesus, what he's done for me. When I think about Jesus, how he set me free, I can dance, sing, pray, shout. Guaranteed. I guarantee that's going to be somewhere in there.
This is not on the right thread, but it just made me think of something. When is there an occasion for when the song I Know I've Been Saved? Like, is there an occasion at that song? Or is that just a standard?
I've been changed. Are you talking about
the angels in heaven didn't sign
my name? I know I've been changed.
Changed. Okay. Is that just a normal Sunday
that one
song?
That one can go Easter or Christmas, to be honest.
Because that's when you're talking about, like the Lamb's Book of Life. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll slide all off because I'll be like, oh, this take me down all these little tangents.
Yeah, but you gon' if they bust out with they didn't know, ain't gonna be no sermon tomorrow. I'm telling you that it won't be. Will not be a
It
sermon.
got to because you got to take them back to the cross.
You've never been in that sermon where it's so hot, like everybody's just worshiping, and the preacher just says maybe a few words. What?
I done been where that causes the sermon, the church service to go too long.
No, I've been where it's been so hot spirit, like the preacher will literally get up and say maybe like 5 minutes, like they are not preaching no whole full length sermon.
Because from what I've experienced, the preacher always want to talk, so he gonna get his time. He gonna get his time.
I have been told the opposite.
And now he won't interrupt when the spirit is in the building. We let God have his time. This is God's time. Let him move.
Yeah,
let him
then
move.
he
Everybody.
or she. Yeah,
I've only had one female pastor. She wasn't
No.
my pastor, but I've only had one female pastor.
And I've had zero. Not to say I wouldn't be open to that because I am, but I'm just saying that's just I've
only had one, and that was because she was co-pastor with her husband, and he passed away, so she became the only pastor. And she's been the pastor for at least a decade or more now.
Because Jesus weep. Weep. It's wet.
Shortest verse in the Bible.
And everybody says.
Still said it wrong.
Says, where can everybody find you?
Hey, for the most part, you can find me on the weekends with Marlon and the crew on Radical Truth to Power. I do have a little bit of content on Complex Mind, Simple Man still. Website's gone. But big thing is, as you see down below, Our United Core, that is my major project. That is, focusing on the community, re-engaging with the youth, re-engaging with the people, showing how we can still take care of each other, love each other, and do big things. So
everybody, thank you for letting me take you down the memories of my childhood. As you know, I did this show at this time because my previous show, Justice is Here, would normally, well, it wouldn't be at 10 o'clock, I tell you that much, but it would normally be at 7. But since I did a pre-interview, I said, yeah, I want to go live and make this show at 8:30. But it will return next week at 2 o'clock. And most likely we're either going to talk about boy bands or top Motown groups, one or the other. I think I'm going to go with.
Marlon going to say New Edition.
No, if I do Motown, he can't say New Edition.
But he can't say boy bands.
Yeah, if I do boy bands, he will say New Edition. But they weren't. I mean, they were okay. They were good. But I haven't decided which one I will do. And for all of my Justice is Here podcast folks, because I see y'all out there, the show will return next week at 7 o'clock with a live interview. Remember to like this podcast, share this podcast. Remember that the telethon, I don't know what I'm going to do that day, but it's going to start at 8 o'clock, May the 2nd. I'm going to have a lot of fun. Try to get some money for this channel because it's been hard out here in these streets, but that's okay. We're going to keep going anyway. I will see you all tomorrow, Easter Sunday. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stupid stuff. Not stupid stuff, but serious stuff that 40, is he 45 or 47? He's 47 and he's 45. He's 45 and he's 47. That's what I just call him, 45, 47.
Oh, you're talking about that dude. Okay.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about him. And then the last 15 or so minutes, I will talk about the true meaning of Easter. Again, I'll talk about probably.
Well, you going to talk about that dude tomorrow?
Yeah, because that's my weekly politics show.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's the show that kind of is going to keep me steady until football season starts in September. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Because when football go away, I go into this deep depression. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, oh, I'll get a podcast. So yes, I'll do that tomorrow. Guys, it's 10:25 and I haven't ate yet. So I gotta put food in the oven because y'all know I got diabetes. So I gotta get here and put something in the oven. But I will see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna play the outro and we'll see you when we see you. Have a great day.
Thank you.